Yep, I'm doing this. Everyone's been talking about this show. This show has become a phenomenon. When it started out, it wasn't that big. Like it had a few million views, but every season, like the numbers have just been getting bigger and bigger. And I think a lot of that's due to word of mouth and how great it is. So I'm one of those people who I like to read the books before I watch the show. So I wanted to read all the Game of Thrones books that came out before the show came out. And Dance with Dragons came out right after season one. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they were trying to play off the Game of Thrones hype, but yeah. So now that I've read all four books, I'm gonna watch the show because, again, I like to get the original story. I also like to picture everything in my head first before getting the Game of Thrones image in. Although with some characters, I do already have the image in my head, like Daenerys. Um, yeah, Daenerys is the main one. And yeah, I'm gonna vlog about him. I'm not gonna vlog about everyone, one, because that would take up too much time, and also there's a lot of other stuff I want to do with my life. So I'm again, as usual, I'm gonna vlog about the pilot. When I see it, just so you can get my initial first exposure to the show reaction. Then once I'm done with all this season one, I'll talk about that. Season two, three, four, and then I'll may or may not talk about live. I'm still deciding. It depends on time and also like if I feel like I have something unique to input or like do I have something to say about each episode or is it one of those where like I only have like I just realized there's a blue line under my neck from the computer my bad aggressive. Or is it do I have something enough to say about each episode that I can do a full video on them or is it like Agents of Shield or Walking Dead where it's like to a point where I can just literally sum up in one video how I feel about the season as a whole. But yeah, but I do feel like I have read the book, so it's going to give me a bit of a different opinion than those who haven't read the book. That's always that way. Whenever there's an adaptation, your opinion's going to differ based on whether or not you've read the book. I mean, that's not to say you can't have the same reaction, but there are certain things that you're going to notice or point, draw attention to, depending on whether or not you've read the book. And again, if certain characters aren't fleshed out well, if certain elements of the story aren't explained well, as in the book, I do want that. Even Game of Thrones, which I love, there are changes that are made. There are some parts I thought this was handled better in the book. Specifically, the introduction of Aragon, I thought was better in the book. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to watch the first episode, and then we are going to talk about it. And please don't be that guy who ruins Dance with Dragons for me. Don't be that guy. So yeah, so when I'm done with it, I'll talk about it, and I'll see you guys after the pilot. See you later.